Welcome to the quest for the Green Bowl, the Rise of R'luh Azath. Today we're joined by my lovely fiance, the Siamese Dream Catz. Took care of business on the road last week against the stellar bitches in our game of the week. So I gotta ask, and I'm sure it's on everyone's mind, how was the Temple of SeaTac? Was it as scary as, the shadows made it out to be?
I found it picturesque and scenic.
Interesting. Maybe that's why you won. You weren't immune to the nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Audra's not. 0-5 at the Temple of SeaTac.
Let's be nice.
I'm just saying, 0-5.
Audra, I'm a big fan. I wasn't really even trying to win, so.
The stellar bitches needed it. That's been one of the big things, not winning at home this year.
Yeah.
But for you, you're now 6-5. Heart of the playoff race after a 1-4 start. Did you expect to be here?
I did not. No, I did not.
I know, you were telling me, too. You said you were like, season's over. I don't care anymore.
Well, I'm in it for the money, as I've said before. So I think the rest is kind of up to fate. It's a bit like gambling, you know? You just don't know.
Yeah, actually.
And I don't really see myself going much further, at least not this week. I'm not going to win.
Well, we'll see what happens. Upsets do happen, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mentioned that. One thing that seems to work for you is not tweaking too much. You make the moves that you need to make, bye weeks, injuries. You don't get scared if your player doesn't do well. You stick with them. And the Colts defense being a big one, they struggled in the early, and now they've been doing well, and you've won 5 out of 6, kind of going with them.
Right.
So, I mean...
Yeah, and I picked them early, even though Anthony told me to not pick defenses too early, because that's a Ruby move, but,
Yeah, well, it's working out for you now.
Yeah.
Most experts would tell you not to take a defense in the 7th round.
Well, they're dumb.
Hey, I look at all of our teams. I've said this before on the show.
Defense matters.
The defense on the top 6 teams at the moment, they're all very good defenses.
See?
And the teams that have struggled, it's because the defense hasn't done as well as it should. But it's not the only reason. But it is nice when you could just not worry about your defense. You also drafted well. You took Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Pollard, for some reason, is the one that's doing well, although he didn't do well this past Thursday. It was Elliott, but, you did it as a handcuff, and then you get this great move. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on how far you've come as a fantasy player since we started? I mean, you make these moves on your own. You decide on your own. No one's helping you. And I don't think you listen to the experts, so.
Yeah, no, I just try and think logically, and I don't tinker.
Yeah.
Don't chase points. Mm-mm.
Yeah, the Tinker Tape Parade, as everyone calls it.
I also just don't have that much time to, do any of that crap. So.
But then you stick with your gut, and you've had some decent seasons.
Yeah. Most of the times when I do bad, it's because of freakish, unforeseen events. Mm-hmm. And that's, what life is all about.
I'm surprised you're not wearing the golden cat necklace after you took me down.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm wearing my my literary sweatshirt with Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes and Poirot right there. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm actually thinking about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about how you have a great chance to make the playoffs here in these last 3 weeks. You got to play some tough teams.
I don't want to jinx myself. I love the cash, don't get me wrong, and the bragging rights, because I know I would be able to hold it over his head.
You already beat me, so you already got that golden cat necklace.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. That's all you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for not rubbing it in my face and wearing it.
I'm not like that. He is.
Yeah.
But
I am. I do. I do rub things in people's faces,
Yeah, he's a sore winner, if that's a thing.
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
You're
I give myself worse coach.
That's why I don't play board games anymore with him.
Yeah, well, I am the warrior, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, obviously for this week, I wanted to do another personality test as our segment. Give you the quiz of a lifetime, as you'll be answering random questions to find out what kind of fantasy football player you are as it relates to a potential Beforeigners character. And for those that don't know, Beforeigners is this great Norwegian sci-fi. It's been on HBO. There's some annoying thing going on with Discovery Plus buying HBO, so the Beforeigners haven't come back yet, and there's like this weird, no one knows if it is, even though it should, but 3 seasons it's been, and essentially the plot is these people from all different periods of history have started to show up in modern times through like a time portal.
In Oslo, right?
Yes. Well, it's actually all around the world they hint at, but the show takes place in Oslo.
Yeah, and the characters are fantastic. And there's like some Viking lore, but it's very... they don't beat you over the head with it like some of the other shows.
Yeah, it's a great show. So this is going to be fun to see which character you are. So let's get right to it. It's time to pick your character. I'm going to be asking you 3 multiple choice questions, points assigned to each one that will help me determine who you are. So are you ready here?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the characters that you could have been at the end as well. All right, so first question. Which position do you find to be the most important in fantasy football if you're going to have a good season? The answers are quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, or defense?
I'm going to go with wide receiver.
Wide receiver? You think that that's one of the most important? Why is that, out of curiosity?
When I have good wide receivers, I do well.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
interesting. It's a very interesting... It's becoming the new norm.
It's not a fact. It's just an observation.
Yeah. But
for me personally,
I think that's interesting.
I could be wrong.
But it's actually becoming a common thing now. The no running back drafting strategy where you don't take a running back to the 4th or 5th round because you want to stock up on all the top wide receivers. The game is a passing game.
Yeah, didn't everybody do that this year though?
Everyone took running backs early this year in our league. Anyway.
Yeah, that was very annoying. All of you should be ashamed of yourselves. It was like panic buying toilet paper at the grocery store during 2020.
Yeah, it's an interesting quandary,
It was just annoying.
Yeah, although I think some of the running backs were picked too high or too low, to be honest.
Yeah, because everybody was panicking.
That's what happens.
Let's not do that, guys.
It happens with all the positions. It happens with quarterbacks, too. So now, next question. When you choose your lineup, what is your go-to decision helper? Are you going with just your gut? Are you looking at... Close your eyes and hope for the best? Do you pay attention to my previews at all? Or are you trusting who you drafted and just sticking with them?
Yeah, I mean, I trust who I draft. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. What's the most difficult part of fantasy football for you? The luck, the injuries, the ridiculous NFL coaching when your player doesn't get the amount of chances that they should, the bye weeks, or hearing me talk about fantasy football.
Oh, I'm so glad he included that. It's the last one. It's the last one.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, like, had you not included that, I would have picked the injuries. It's just depressing, A, and B, like, you feel like you're watching a horse race or something, and
yeah, the injuries
I just feel bad for the players. I feel like
we hate injuries.
Treated like
all of us hate injuries.
Human cargo,
we want the best.
That's really sad.
We want the best of the best to just be able to play. It's sad. The characters you could have been were a fielder, Maddie.
Her best friend?
No, Maddie is the blonde.
The girl.
That gets with...
Lars's daughter?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The vulva.
You're calling her the vulva?
That's what when you look it up on IMDb,
Really?
it's called the vulva, yeah.
Okay.
Erd was her best friend, or Lar. And yeah, so there you have it. A fielder. That's what type of fantasy football player Siamese Dream Catz are.
Yeah.
So a great chance to make the playoffs, but it's going to be tough because AR's ayahuasca plant, Green Acres, remember the Titans, they're all in that race too. Risky Business is just ahead of you in the wild card race. Our divisions look to be pretty settled at this point, but anybody can make these wild cards, and you're all within a couple games of each other with 3 to play. So, and there you have it. There was a little bit of a weird technical difficulty. I'm not really sure why that happened, but the Siamese Dream Catz were very excited. They ended up being a fielder, of course. One of the main characters in the show, her favorite character, and this is all random too, so it wasn't set up to be that, but based on her answers, that's who she got. And of course a fielder wants everyone to just shut up so they can be heard, trusts the strengths, and that they could defend themselves when needed. And of course that kind of goes with it. She picks the defense, trusts her picks. It definitely wants me to shut up, or the experts, like, stop it. She's just going to make the move she's got to make. And then, of course, her second place, which a fielder had 23 of the possible 30 points. The vulva had about 17 points, I think, ended up. It looks at projections, trusts previews and things like that. But injuries and bye weeks throw too many variables, so it kind of doesn't like it. And that actually is a little true as well for the Siamese Dream Catz, who are definitely in the thick of the playoff race. They're doing very good. The Siamese Dream Catz, not taking anything for granted. Definitely have a shot to make the playoffs, which is great. Of course, that's the content for the show. But the one thing to talk about is I'm about to release our game of the week, week 13 game of the week, our first flex one, and we're going to be in Ganymede as Remember the Titans hosts the multiple scoregasms, the Polar Caps of Athanasu. Of course, this is going to be a big game. The division might actually still be in limbo here, depending on what finishes out this week. But even if the scoregasms clinch the division, this matchup is still going to be huge, because Remember the Titans is fighting for one of those wild cards, and the multiple scoregasms are still alive and fighting for that first round bye, that number 2 overall seed. So it's going to be a big time matchup. Both teams are going to want to win, and it's probably going to set us up for week 14 as well. So, it's going to be great. There you go. Salut. And before you go, check out the Game of the Week schedule and the results from the past 3 months of Game of the Weeks. Pretty insane. We're getting close, guys. Peace out.